Guys, Matt Dunham and Jackie Kiddle. We're back at the Flatwater Paradise. Karapiro. Awesome day.
Yeah, it's a stunner actually.
Did you have a row this morning?
I did, yep, I think we both did.
Yep, we did. Dead flat, as good as it gets.
Bit different to coastal.
It is quite different. A few less waves out here, but the coaches try their best with the coach boats to replicate it.
Okay guys, let's go over that race where you became the latest world champions. What was it like?
Well, honestly, because when you race and we got to the final, every race we did get there was so close, right? And we just couldn't believe it. We were like, wow, we made it through again, we made it through again. And then I think by the time we got to the final, we weren't so much nervous. We were just really like in the mode to race. And Jackie was absolutely sore because she was buggered. We'd done the quad right beforehand. So she had done, it was her 6th race in a row. And so yeah, it was all flat tack. And then I guess we're just in the zone. Jackie started, you got down the beach pretty quick, got in the boat, and we're a bit behind, but then we boosted up for it, and we pretty much just put all our effort into trying to master the waves well. Came around the back bend, had a little niggly bit on the turn where we went onto a wave slightly too early, but we had to because it was do or die at that point. Came off it a bit, straightened up. Luckily, we had a few more beans in us than GB, and we were able to punch through a wave right at the end where I think they struggled a little. And then luckily we got out on the sand just a little behind them. We were able to burn them off on the sand.
So just having that rowing, that surf culture that you grew up with would have helped, eh?
I think so. I guess I suppose if you just did lots of it, you'd get a feel for it. But I think, I'm not really sure like how to describe like learning it or understanding it. I guess you just really have to feel it. You can't try and plan it like in flatwater rowing, you plan everything. You're like, oh, I'm gonna lengthen out here, I'm gonna go harder here. It's real sterile, but there it's just, if the wave calls for it, you're gonna shorten up. It's just, you can't have time to like react. You just have to do it. You just have to feel it. And I think a lot of flatwater rowers just don't have that in them.
So it's real intuitive.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think the complexity of the running and getting in the boat, so for me that was like kind of the hardest part, because like I backed my rowing ability, but it was always going to be sprinting down as fast as I could because I'm not normally a runner, and then getting in as fast as I could. So like to start with, I was even behind the start, I was like practicing where my feet were going to go before I got in the boat. But I knew that once I got in, I was going to be fine, because all I had to do was just go absolutely ham and do what Matt told me. So yeah, and I remember we got hit by a really big wave out of the start, and you can't actually see it in the footage, which is a bit of a shame, but all the photos of us really getting pummeled by this wave are on all over social media. But yeah, so you can actually see our speeds drop from like 12 to 5 just in one go. So we started really quite behind because we'd hit this wave, and so I was just like, well, it's the last race, I'm just going to do everything I can. And I remember when we turned, I remember thinking, oh, we're a little bit closer than I thought we were. And then when we finished, like we got to the beach and Matt was getting ready to jump, I remember looking across and going, oh my God, they're actually right there, and just screaming run. As soon as I felt Matt go leave the boat, I was just screaming run, because I was like, we could actually win this, which was insane. Yeah, so it was just crazy. And then I was screaming and running up the beach, and we had a big hug in the middle, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was a magical moment.
Yeah.
Next year, there's going to be an under-19 Worlds for Coastal.
That would be really cool. We saw the juniors last year competing at the World Champs, international juniors, and again this year it's a really cool regatta, because it's kind of the only regatta that you get really your top elite team and your juniors competing at the same time. So yeah, I think it would be fantastic if we could bring some Kiwi juniors over.
Talking about 2028 and the fact that we're going to have Coastals at LA.
I'd love just to keep giving a crack and just seeing what we can do every year, and if it goes right through to LA, that'd be fantastic. Couldn't think of anything better.
So it's something that you might both consider committing yourselves to if the opportunity arose to be able to do it?
Yes, I mean, it's a massive commitment, but so far we're just really enjoying the sport. Like it's refreshing, it's something we get to use all our rowing skills for, and I grew up by the beach, so it's awesome being able to like just sort of be back at the beach again and just use just all my feel for the surf and actually put it into rowing, and just something I never really got to do out here. So I feel really at home doing it when I'm out there doing coastal rowing.
We kind of didn't really expect to do as well as we did. I think up until now it's been very much about just the opportunity to actually race together. Like the quad and the double are the only mixed events in rowing, and so us being a couple, being able to actually do that together has been quite novel and been really fun. And so we didn't really go expecting to win. With lightweight rowing taking a step back, it's opened doors that we didn't think were going to open for us after Paris.
Yeah, because I guess that news that lightweight rowing nixed from 28 and then have that other news, I mean, it must have been, I guess people say bittersweet, I suppose.
I'd say bittersweet is the right way to put it. Like it's really sad seeing lightweight rowing go after just so many years of such high quality racing in such tight fields and just people really pushing the boundaries of rowing. And coastal, it's by no means a replacement of lightweight rowing. It's a different sport entirely. That's
always going to be hard, seeing something that you've been a part of taken away from the Olympic program, but at the same time, the coastal rowing we've been kind of saying it's like the BMX to track cycling comparison. Like it's a very different sport. It's going to favour very different athletes to flat water, and it brings a completely different element to rowing that the world's never seen before, which is pretty cool.
What's more punishing? Coming down here doing 2K or a day of coastal?
What, a day of coastal?
Yeah.
Like a break.
If a day of coastal, the day of coastal.
Definitely a day of coastal.
But if it was like one race, it's so hard to tell because like you know how much you're going to hurt in a 2K and like you're just emptying your tank. That's all you do is just how much watts can you do over a 2K. But the coastal's more like choosing when to work, knowing when to work, when to not work, when to prepare for the wave. So sometimes in coastal, it's going to ask everything of you and you're going to be dead within like 50 meters of leaving the shore because it's just like so aggressive. And then other times you'll get to the line and you won't even be tired because if you were to try and work hard, you would for sure come off your seat or have breakage or lose something.
I'm excited to see the development of the sport. I think that it has a real potential to grow the sport of rowing as a whole because there's now the option to do a different form, and I think that's really exciting, and I'm excited to see how the community base grows because of that.
Can you see a time when coastal might take over flat water?
I think they're so different that they will never really take away from each other. It's just some people be more drawn to do coastal rowing than flat water. I don't think there'll be much crossover of people leaving one to go to the other, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the deep history and tradition with flat water rowing or, classic rowing is so embedded, and that's actually what draws a lot of people to rowing, and I think that will never die. I think that's something that is will always be there, and coastal is kind of like the mischievous younger brother. It's always going to be, I think it's always going to be a part of rowing from now on, but it's never going to, I guess, take the place of classic rowing.
I guess you've been a world champion in flat water now, and is this a different vibe?
Yes, definitely. Well, I think the different vibe was, for us, like we won as a couple. And I think, especially for our careers, we've had a lot of really big highs and a lot of really big lows. And as a couple, you ride everything that the other person does together. And so when one of us has a low, we both have a low. So to both have a high together was like a pretty special moment.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'd also say like the coastal community is quite different to the flat water community. Like everyone's just so close and so supportive. Like there's not many sports where you would help someone up like that you just beat, or like even when you get beaten, you're like, there's like no hard feelings. You're like, oh mate, I gave it everything, and just let them help you up, and you're just cheering on your mates, really, yeah, and you're just hoping the best for everyone.
The Spanish threw them in the water afterwards. Yeah. They were so excited that we'd won that our competitors picked them up and threw them in the water in celebration, so it was really cool.
I don't know how supportive it was. It was like ankle deep.
Yeah.
That was great though. Great guys.
Yeah.